Our first question comes from Dan Raphael with ESPN.
Hello, everybody. Hi, Victor. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
I'm good, thank you very much. Victor, it's been about 18 months, 19 months, I guess, by the time you get into the ring with Louis next week. I know you had the injury that was a big part of your layoff, and you did other things like Richard mentioned with the Dancing with the Stars appearances and the movie with the Expendables. But can you talk a little bit about your time off away from the ring and how you feel it was either a negative or a positive going forward in your career?
Everything happens for a reason. We never quite get an answer for what reason that happened. At the end of the day, you know what? I took my break and used it for what it was worth. I took my time, let my jaw heal just right, and that was it. But while I was doing that, I had some more opportunities arise my way, and why not? I went out of my way and did some things that many people in the sport of boxing and just in the world period will never get to experience or do. So, at this point in time, I'm ready. I'm back. January 30th, coming for victory.
When you were away, and I'm sure enjoying those other activities that you talked about with the movie and the Dancing with the Stars stuff, while that was going on, though, did you miss boxing, or were you happy to just have probably really the first extended break you've had in a long, long time since you've been a pro anyway?
You know what? It disgusted me to watch boxing because a lot of these top contenders or top fighters that are there, they're only there by mistake. So I couldn't bear to watch fighters that I know I can beat time and time again rising their hands. So I try to stay away from watching it, and now I'm back and I'm all in. So
what is your goal on this comeback then, Victor? Is it to, just...
Well, I never left. There was never. I don't even consider it a comeback. Right after I broke my jaw, a few days later, I was in the gym, the boxing gym, hitting a punching bag with my mouth wired shut. So, the only difference is this time around we have cameras, we have a television set that's going to be there watching and recording and broadcasting. So I'm ready.
What is your main goal now? Is it to regain the title or some other aspect?
Oh, absolutely. No. I'm 26 years old. I'll be waiting for a long time.
Okay. Thank you for that, Victor. I have a question for Louis. Louis, hi. How are you today?
What's going on, Dan? How you been?
I'm good. Thank you. Now, Victor, he is coming off that long, I guess, about 19-month layoff. I was just looking at your record. In the span of time in which Victor has had his layoff doing his other stuff and letting the jaw heal, you, although you've had some long breaks in your career, have been quite busy compared to where Victor was. You've had 3 fights already in that 18-month span. Do you feel like, and 3 wins, by the way, do you feel like that activity level and the fact, frankly, that you're fighting at home in Brooklyn is going to have a big impact, that you'll be fresher than Victor, and that having those rounds and that regular activity and you'll be sharp, that's going to be a big factor in this important fight for you?
Probably. Like you said, I had 3 fights this last year, and with that, I'm 18 months, and maybe his timing will be off. I don't know. Only time will tell. Come next week, his floor is they're gonna show, so I'm gonna capitalize off of those.
Do you think being at home is more comforting for you, or does it make a difference?
To be honest, it does make a difference. At the end of the day, once that bell rings, there ain't nobody gonna get in that ring with you, just you and the opponent. So you just gotta go in there, take care of business, and that's it.
Alrighty. One other thing for you guys. The winner of this fight, I'm not sure if the next fight afterwards can be a world title fight, but Richard, maybe he could address this. Golden Boy has all kinds of guys in the welterweight division, and the winner of this fight, I would think, is going to fit right in there with one of those big events. Is that what you think about with what the outcome of this fight will be that will push either of you guys into one of those big fights? And maybe, Richard, when they're done, you could address that also. Thank you.
Well, right now for me, Victor Ortiz is everything, and a victory over him, my future moves on. Otherwise, it's not going to move on. Those fights are not going to happen. So right now, my main focus is Victor Ortiz, and that's it. Victor's in my radar, and that's the only one.
How about you, Victor?
Just like Louis is obviously focused on me, and vice versa. That's the only guy I'm looking forward to right now. You guys can talk and say about the next this and that, but ultimately it's Louis and I at the end of the day, and that's that.
And Richard, you're the one that doesn't have to necessarily think just about the about the fight they're having. You can think about it, what's ahead.
Well, my focus is on this fight. But you know what? No, Dan, it really is, because it is a big fight, and I want to make sure that the exposure and so on. But yes, obviously as a promoter, I do sort of look what could be in store, and I think if you are Luis Collazo or Victor Ortiz, these are two very recognized names in the sport of boxing. Both fighters have been involved in some big fights, and the one who wins this fight is clearly in the mix for some of those bigger showdowns. I think clearly this is a door opener to a world title shot and to other big showdowns, no question about it. And I'm not going to go as far as to say, well, the winner is going to fight Mayweather next, because I don't think that's really the statement. But I think the statement is that there is strings of big names out there in the welterweight division. I would say about 90% of them are promoted by Golden Boy, and that there is a certain path for the winner of that to eventually have a title shot, and maybe down the road, maybe even a Mayweather shot.
Great, thank you guys very much.
And our next question comes from Steve Karp with Las Vegas Review.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Hi, Victor. Nice to hear you.
Oh, thank you.
Good. Are you approaching this as phase 2 of your career, or a continuation of your career in general, given you've had this time off to regroup and kind of re-energize?
You know what? At this point in time, I'm 26 years old. I'm not going anywhere, not anytime soon. So at this point in time, it's just a continuation of my career. I never left. I never retired. I never did any of that. I was just taking a break, healing. So now I'm back.
Mm-hmm. Have you had a chance to work on some things to maybe expand your arsenal in the ring during this time off? Are we going to see a little different type of fighter maybe than we've seen in the past?
I think you could judge that on the 30th.
Our next question comes from Mitchell Abrams with the New York Daily News.
Hey guys, how you doing? I have a question for Luis Collazo. Hey Luis, how are you?
How are you?
Good, man. Victor's had some interesting finishes to some of his fights, and I wonder, when you're preparing to fight him, do you have to actually train, or do you have to take into account the fact that something bizarre might happen in your fight? How do you prepare for that?
Well, I'm going in for the long haul. Whatever happened in his career, whatever happened in his fight, that's on him. He got to deal with it mentally, not me. Come January 30th, I'm going to go in there and just try to take him out. There's no way around it. Just go in there, take care of business, come out with that W.
Is there any concern that something bizarre might happen in the course of the fight, because they've happened in some of his previous fights?
To be honest, I don't know. I can't tell what's going to happen in the future. When the day comes, I'll definitely be ready for it, and whatever happens, happens.
All right, thanks. I had a question for Richard. Richard, how you doing?
Yep. Good. How are you?
Well, yeah, I'm good. Richard, having this fight, just a couple of days away from the Super Bowl, just talk about the decision to have the fight, so close to the big game.
Well, last weekend when I was watching the championship game on Fox, and they were talking about the Victor Ortiz fight, I have to say it was pretty cool. I liked it. It's great for the sport of boxing to get exposure. It's great for the sport of boxing to have somebody like Fox and Fox Sports 1 more and more involved in boxing. I think all that is great news for the sport, and it shows you the strength of boxing, to have the added exposure of Super Bowl week, and a lot of people, celebrities, athletes, and so on are going to be in town and are going to be coming to the fight. I think all that just takes that fight and the exposure the fight gets, the fighters most importantly get, to a totally different level. And so I'm happy for the fighters, I'm happy for the sport of boxing to have this big fight during Super Bowl week.
Is there any concern that maybe some of the attention from the big game will maybe, that the boxing card might get swallowed up because everyone is paying attention to the Super Bowl and they might not, realize that there's a boxing show also in town?
No, I think between the way the Barclays Center has marketed the event and what my team has done, our marketing staff, and what Fox has done, I think there is going to be plenty of attention to the fight, and there's a time for everything. And I think on Thursday night, the place to be in New York is going to be the Barclays Center, and so I'm very excited about it.
All right, thanks. And I have a question for Victor. Hey, Victor, how are you?
Good, thank you.
Thanks. Victor, does it bother you at all that you have still the reputation of somebody who's, capable of doing something unpredictable in the ring, and that whenever you fight, there's always, anything can happen kind of quality? Does that bother you, or do you kind of just go with it?
No, you just gotta learn to deal with it. I mean, media have their perception, I have mine. They have their comments and concerns, I have mine. At the end of the day, it comes down to me.